What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with some more new look rebuilds. Now, take this one with a grain of salt because the Pelicans didn't change all that much this offseason, but today we are still doing a new look New Orleans Pelicans rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like at this one. Of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. Helps me grow. Leaving a like also helps this video, reach out to other people, and of course, comment down the next team you guys want to see. But regardless, man, looking at this Pelicans roster, and like I said, they didn't change all that much. The big thing for the Pelicans is potentially getting a healthy Zion, because they ended up getting into the playoffs last year, as we know. And they took the Suns to 6, and they looked pretty fun doing it. So I am excited to see what Zion's going to look like next to B.I. and CJ McCollum, see what this roster is going to potentially shape up, and see how this is going to go. And then obviously you also have Dyson Daniels that they drafted, so that was like their one addition. I don't think they really did anything else, though. They also drafted E.J. Liddell, but I'm pretty sure... didn't he hurt himself? So that's definitely unfortunate for him. So he probably won't be in the rotation year number 1. But this roster is pretty deep, so I don't think it's really going to matter. So regardless, for this first offseason, I'm not going to do anything else. The Pelicans already have their roster as it is, and this team is going to look very good. CJ McCollum's going down in overall, and so is Joval. So one thing I do want to do in this video, since the Pelicans have so much like draft equity and just assets in general, I do want to try to make like a big trade in this video if possible. Not sure how easy it's going to be, but it is something I do want to look into, whether it's at the trade deadline or in the offseason. To make this video fun, I want to use these assets and try to bring in somebody. Now, I have no idea who I have at the top of my head, but just bringing in somebody I think would be a lot of fun in this video. So that's what I'm going to try to do, unless if we somehow get the #1 overall pick and draft Victor Wembanyama, then we don't have to worry about it, right? But regardless, let's look at the rotation for this season. So they have CJ McCollum, Dyson Daniels, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Joval. I think this is very close to what the starting 5 is going to look like, but I think Herbert Jones will be starting at the 2 for them. So if I move him to shooting guard, he does go down, which is unfortunate, but he is going to play some shooting guard / small forward. That way we have him like that, and then Daniels will be coming off the bench. So that is what I kind of want to run it as, and that is what I think the Pelicans 35 is going to be. Herbert Jones proved to be a really good defensive rookie, so I imagine he'll be plugged into the starting 5 for his defense as well. So you have CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Joval. Honestly, this team is really damn good. It just depends how they all fit together. So I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. Jackson Hayes, Larry Nance, Jose Alvarado, and Trey Murphy is your rotation. So Dyson Daniels as a rookie, I guess we can run a 10-man rotation and give him some minutes, so that way we kind of have him playing a little bit. And then Devontae Graham's contract could come in handy later on, because like I said, I do want to make a trade, so his salary could help with that. Then you have Kyrie Lewis. Like, there's a ton of assets here, and then we have like a ton of draft picks. So whether we stop at the trade deadline or make a big trade in the offseason, that is the plan for today's video, because the Pelicans didn't change all that much. So let's do something and make them change a little bit in order to put this team over the top. So we are at the contract extension deadline, and I want to go ahead and try to extend some players right now. That way we have them for more trades in the offseason. So I'm going to extend Larry Nance here, and I'm also going to extend Jonas Valanciunas, who doesn't want too much money, but I think in real life he'd probably get more. So I'm going to give him like 3 or 12 million around like Devontae Graham type money. That way I could put Joval and Devontae Graham in a potential trade. So no trades at the trade deadline, just extending some guys. That way we have some salary to trade in the offseason. So feeling pretty good so far. So Luka Doncic wins MVP. Chet is your rookie of the year for the Thunder. You got Bones Highland, 6th man of the year. John the Eyes defensive player. Wiseman most improved. Doc Rivers coach of the year in Philadelphia, and Jacob Park is your executive, which I think no, that's Celtics. Never mind. I thought that was me. But Luka, Trae Young, Giannis, KD, Jokic. Obviously, second team, James Harden, Beal, LeBron, James, and then Embiid. No Zion or anything like that, so that's interesting. I thought he'd make an All-NBA first team, because he always seems to do that in this 2K simulation. But regardless, we are the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. So player stats, we have 24 from Zion, 23 from Ingram, 20 from CJ McCollum, 11 from Jackson Hayes, and 11 from Joval, and then 10.5 from Jose Alvarado, 8.8 from Trey Murphy, 8 from Larry Nance, and then 5 from Herbert Jones. We didn't really need him to do anything crazy. Just go out there and play some defense and then make some threes. That's all we really need out of Herbert Jones. So here we go, though. This is our first playoff run, so we do know how good the Pelicans are in the playoffs. We get the Nuggets in round 1, which is, I think, a really good team in the West. So this should be an early test and see where we're at. I am going to go ahead and just run a 9-man rotation, though. I think for these playoffs, I don't really want to run 10 deep. They do want to start Dyson Daniels, which I'm not sure I love the idea of, but I guess if that's... what is he doing in his rookie year anyway? Let me double check on this. So he's averaging 5 in... why is... okay, just... as much as I respected 2K, I can't do it. So I'll give Dyson Daniels some minutes, but I still want to start Herbert Jones in the playoffs because we're definitely going to need him. I know Daniels, I think, can play some defense, though. So in the current round against Denver, I have nothing to lose, and we are going to beat them in 5. So we're on to round 2, and we get the team we got last year in the Phoenix Suns. We have Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Johnson, and then Cameron Payne. So this should be interesting. So many current round against Phoenix. Can we get revenge from last year? And we are going to beat them in 6. So yeah, we beat them in 6, and for some reason, the Utah Jazz are here. Like, how are the Utah Jazz here right now? So the Jazz are looking to blow it up, and then they accidentally just made it to the Western Conference Finals. 2K, you make no sense. Like, if we lose to the Jazz here, I'm gonna be so upset. We beat them in 5. Okay, thank you. I was about to say, how did the Jazz upset the Timberwolves anyway? You know how embarrassing that would be? Like, Gobert goes to Minnesota, and then his former team just upsets them with Udoka Azubuike starting at center. Like, that makes 2K is crazy. But regardless, we get the 76ers, who just had a really good year. They're starting DeAnthony Melton and have Tyrese Maxey on the bench, so we'll see how that goes for them. And they have Tobias Harris and Daniel House. So game 1, we are up 1-0, beat them by 4. Game 2, they even it up, fair enough. Game 3, they're up 2-1, 3-1, and I think we're going to lose year number 1 to the 76ers, which is fair. So we do get all the way to the NBA Finals, so that just gives me an extra motivation to get better this offseason, doesn't it? So the Lakers, I don't think, are here. So their draft pick actually might be really high for us. So that could be very interesting. If we're going to get like the number 1 overall pick here and we could just add Wembanyama, like, what do I really need to do? You know what I mean? So going to the draft lottery, well, let's see where we're sitting at. So we're projected a number 2 overall pick right now via the Los Angeles Lakers. That's how bad they were. So Jazz, let's go ahead and watch this. So the Jazz get this pick via the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so that is good for them. And that's from the Royce O'Neal trade, I believe. So that Royce O'Neal trade doesn't work out for Brooklyn, I guess. And then the Pistons get the 13th overall pick. I want to watch this whole thing because if we somehow get the number 1 overall pick here, man, that would be kind of wild. And that we could add Wembanyama to this mix. Or even just getting, I don't really know if I'd want Scooter Henderson. I think there's so much. And the Thunder, I think, just jumped up. Clippers and Thunder have moved in the top 4. So that might diminish our chances. So wow, so the Thunder moved from 11 into the top 4. So the Thunder are going to add another good piece. Good for them. Washington Wizards at number 9. Do they stay there? They do. So far, no other surprises. So does that really mean the Clippers and Thunder both moved up? That means we probably aren't in the top 4 then, right? Blazers move up, and that probably is going to be all she wrote. Wait, I don't know if that was movement or not. I'm not sure, man. This is confusing. Spurs number 7. All right. That's cool. Number 6. I'm just hoping we're like in the top 5. If we can stay in the top 5, that'd be cool. And we do get Hornets get number 6, which is nice. That's their pick. And then we're projected the 5th overall pick. And we do get it. So the Pelicans via the Lakers. That Lakers pick gives us the 5th overall pick in this draft. And the Blazers won the Wembanyama sweepstakes. Wow. Okay, that's a turn of events. So number 5 okay, we get number 5. I will take it. So the Blazers have number 1, which tells me they were very bad. So immediately, my mind is like, hey, I can go trade for Damian Lillard, right? Like, I could if I technically wanted to and have Dame and CJ reunited here in New Orleans. Do we do something like that? I don't know. That would be kind of funny if I did pull that off, but it would be pretty interesting. It would be kind of crazy. I might go for it. Who knows? We have the assets. I mean, we have the 5th overall pick, for crying out loud. So, or we could just add another young player here and just continue. You know what I mean? So let's go to the draft and let's see if there's someone I could trade for before I just make this pick. So right now, if we made this pick, we could get like Derek Lively or something like that, or a Thompson. But why not let's make a big move here, man. I'm feeling it right now. So taking a look around the league here on draft night, and there are some trades we can make, but obviously I kind of mentioned this on one already. The most interesting one we can make right now, and it's so unrealistic, it's not even funny, but Damian Lillard in New Orleans. It's not like the New Orleans Pelicans couldn't pull off a trade for Dame because they have a lot of assets. Don't get me wrong, but do we really want Damian Lillard? Here's the question. I mean, he is available, and he's someone you don't trade for that often, and we could reunite Dame and CJ in New Orleans. Like, it could be fun. I don't even know if we could get to his salary without like so I did give a lot of salary away, so hopefully we can match his salary. So it'd probably have to be like Joe Val, Devontae Graham. We might not be able to do this like right away. So Joe Val, Devontae Graham, actually, we might be able to get there. Dyson Daniels might have to be in the trade, like Willie. And then, yeah, I think this is going to be tough to do. So Dyson Daniels, and then we need $5 more million in the trade. Larry Nance, and like, yeah, that would have to be like, I think we would have to do this after the draft, and that's just going to be really tough to pull off. We need a little bit of salary, so You know what? If we want, I don't know if the Blazers will still be selling after the draft. They usually changes intel, which is why I wish player options were for the draft, that we could pull off trades like that. So let's jump into the draft and let's just draft at number 5. And I'm not promising I'm keeping this player, but I guess if I was going to draft somebody, it would be Derek Lively. So welcome to the team, Derek Lively, and you may not stay on the team. Who knows? So the Blazers draft Scoot Henderson and Passan Wembanyama. So that means we got a Chet and Wembanyama front court now. And then I'm going to match Garrett Temple's contract because I might need it in a trade, and qualifying offers Jackson Hayes. But now I want to make this. So let's see. After the draft, did the Blazers change how they're feeling right now with Damian Lillard? Like, is he untouchable again? Or it says they're contending, but he's not untouchable. So I want to go back to this trade now that I have everybody under contract. So again, it would be like Devontae Graham's salary. He'd have to be in the trade. I don't really want him here. So Joe Val would be our starting. I mean, if we could pull this off without Joe Val, I'm more than okay with that. So Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy. I think we'd have to include Joe Val, sorry, though. So, like, and then Derek Lively would probably help out this a little bit. Unless, actually, what we could do is we could include Joe Val, and then we're $7 million off, and it'd be like Garrett Temple's salary. And then, wow, man, this is a lot of our players, but, I mean, and then Howard Lewis, and the Blazers can't even afford it. So the team can have the most. Okay, so I'm like literally out of pocket. Okay, so what if we did this? Devontae Graham, Jose Alvarado, Joe Val, and then this Lakers unprotected for Dame. Would they agree to this? I mean, I think they would have agreed to this a second ago, but I don't know if they will now. And it says they're contending. So like I said, that's why I hate that you can't have player options before the draft, because now they say they're contending even though they were just selling a second ago. The team intels change after the draft, which is why I wish 2K would put player options before the draft. So I guess we're not getting Damian Lillard. We're going to try to go a different route then. So no Dame, unfortunate, but it is what it is. The Rockets are rebuilding, so we'll have to see if there's something else out there for us, because like I said, I still do want to make a big trade, to be honest with you. So we're pivoting from Dame to De'Aaron Fox, and the reason being is De'Aaron Fox is unhappy in Sacramento. They have not made the playoffs, and he's getting tired of it. So what we're going to try to do is acquire De'Aaron Fox and put him on this team, which is going to give us a super overpowered lineup here in New Orleans to have some fun with it. So Joe Val, Devontae, Kyle Lewis Jr., and 3 first-round picks for De'Aaron Fox. They do agree to that, and just like that, we have De'Aaron Fox now in New Orleans next to CJ McCollum. So this should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to move CJ to shooting guard. He goes down, which makes no sense because that was natural position. And then you'll have like Herbert Jones off the bench. So boom, just like that, we kind of put together a very interesting lineup in New Orleans now, with De'Aaron Fox being the point guard. I wanted it to be Dame, but I mean, unfortunately, the team intel changed, so I couldn't really trade for him anymore. But regardless, moratorium, free agency time. You have Jackson Hayes, who's a free agent, who I think is very important to bring back now that we made that trade to keep our center depth as much as possible. But looking at the rotation right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, technically 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, we are deep. We are a very deep team. So I think I just want to re-sign Jackson Hayes and call it good. And then we're going to be ready for season number 3 with De'Aaron Fox joining the helm. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, we got really close to maybe getting Wembanyama, and then we almost got really close to trade for Dame, but instead we get De'Aaron Fox, which is still really cool. Don't get me wrong. So Daniels and Herbert Jones. So I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to ultimately move Herbert Jones to small forward. He's going to play the backup 3, and then we'll have Jose Alvarado and Dyson Daniels be your backup guards. You have Herbert Jones play backup 3, and then Larry Nance or Trey Murphy play backup 4, and then you have Jackson Hayes and Derek Lively now. So that is kind of your new rotation here in New Orleans. So should that push us over the top? I mean, we just got to the finals, and acquiring De'Aaron Fox should help out a lot. And then CJ McCollum is going down overall, so who knows? Maybe we look to trade him as well. And you have a new big 3 of De'Aaron Fox, Ingram, and Zion, and you pivot away from CJ McCollum. Maybe we trade CJ at the trade deadline for like a great center, who knows? Like, because we still do have some more assets, and we could just complete the ultimate rebuild here in New Orleans. So this is so far pretty fun. Again, it would have been really cool to have a Dame and CJ backcourt in New Orleans, but things don't all work out. But looking at the rotation going into this season, 9-man rotation, you have De'Aaron Fox, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy, Larry Nance, and Derek Lively. And then you have Jose Alvarado and Dyson Daniels just sitting on the bench. So I think I want to put Dyson Daniels in the rotation for sure. So I'm going to move Larry Nance out of it, and then that is going to be a rotation. So that is what I'm going to roll with for this year. Proficiency is going to land us at a 4.5 balanced. Okay, yeah, so we're going to run 4. We're going to run balanced for sure. So let's go into some way this season. Honestly, though, I'm not going to rule out the idea of potentially stopping at the trade deadline to acquire maybe a better center, because like that's literally the other position we can get better at in the starting 5. If there's a center on the market that's really good and CJ McCollum's salary matches it, maybe we start Dyson Daniels and De'Aaron Fox together, or start Herbert Jones again. So yeah, we definitely have some options and some avenues if we want to go down whichever one we decide. So Joel Embiid wins MVP. Wembanyama's Rookie of the Year for the Thunder. Kevin Porter Jr. 6-man. Matisse Defensive Player. Gabe Vincent Most Improved in Minnesota. Ime Udoka Coach of the Year, and Jacob Park is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team with Luka, Young, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid. All-NBA second team. All-NBA third team, I guess we're looking at first. And then here's your All-NBA second team. So unfortunately for us, we are actually in the play-in tournament. So we went from the second seed all the way to the 8th seed after acquiring De'Aaron Fox. But for some reason, I have a feeling that like it's not going to matter once we get in the playoffs. We're going to be good. Like teams are going to be very terrified of us. So I'm not really worried about what 2K gave me as a record, because I am very confident in my rotation. So, but maybe I'm overconfident and I'm about to lose here in the play-in tournament. Who knows? So just simulate through and we do lose. Okay, so maybe I'm a little overconfident. Now get the Portland Trailblazers around in the play-in tournament. And if we lose, then something's got to change, because if you can't win a championship with the Pelicans, you're pretty poverty. But I mean, I guess acquiring De'Aaron Fox maybe was a little too much for us. I don't know. Let's see if we can get out of the play-in tournament. And if we lose in the play-in tournament, wow, that was closer than I wanted it to be. Okay, so right now I'm not feeling that confident anymore. So we barely got in the playoffs. This is your team on paper, and on paper, this team is really nasty. Defensively, it may be the reason why we suck so bad, but get Minnesota in round 1. They have Gabe Vincent, and then everyone else is still kind of there. So game 1 against Minnesota, we do lose. So maybe I shouldn't be that confident. Game 2, we even it up 128 to 100. Okay, so we're kind of making things happen. We're down 2-1. Okay, down 3-1, and never mind. So I guess I broke the Pelicans maybe here. Well, I guess we're gonna go to a game 7 before anything else. So if we can upset Minnesota, then I mean we're in the second round and things are vibing right now. So let's see if we can do just that. Game 7 in Minnesota. If I'm feeling like a confidence level with the Pelicans because it's the Pelicans in 2K, but I'm also seeing the simulation kind of play out, and it's just not all that good, and we lose in game 7. So wow, I honestly thought getting De'Aaron Fox would just like, I feel like I have to let CJ McCollum go. I think that's the problem right now. I think I want to run it one more year. The Jazz just won a championship with James Harden. That's literally just weird. But regardless, I don't think I'm going to re-sign CJ, which is crazy. Or I might just sign and trade him. And then I'm going to let some of these other guys step in the rotation. I think that's what the big problem was, is having CJ was a little awkward. I wanted to trade him at the trade deadline. Didn't really work out that well. So I don't think we have the number 1 overall pick. Okay, so now we have the number 1 overall pick added to this roster as well. All right, so that just that's crazy. All right, so what I'm gonna do, wait, can I get like Tyronn Lue right now? I'm gonna offer him. We'll see if we can get him. Quinn Snyder, I'll offer him as well. What else you got? Michael Stoffer's out here. If not though, Doc Rivers is here. Nick Nurse, I'll offer Nick Nurse a contract. Why not? And then what else? And then I want to offer Willie Green a contract back. But hey, if I can get one of those other guys, Nick Nurse. Wait, can we sign Nick Nurse? I'm going to sign Nick Nurse. Why not? Nick Nurse is going to sign to be my head coach in New Orleans. I'm going to fill this out. We literally have the number 1 overall pick. So our options are endless now. So I don't know what we're going to do, but maybe make a trade or just draft the number 1 overall pick and have a supercharged roster right now. So heading into this draft with the number 1 overall pick, honestly, don't even really know what I want here. Really don't even know what the best thing to do. Like, we have Elijah Fisher on the board. Do we want another guard? You have DJ Wagner, Mikey Williams. Like, there's a lot of interesting options. So I think I'll draft Elijah Fisher to be my backup shooting guard, I guess. And then Dyson Daniels will play backup point guard for us. So that is what we're going to do. Elijah Fisher with the number 1 overall pick, and that is our brand new addition to New Orleans. He's a 78 overall, so I guess Mikey Williams was the better pick. Whatever. I mean, I don't know this draft class too well. So we got Ron Holland as well, so it's just another guy that could step up in the rotation. So player options, we have Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, and Dyson Daniels all coming back. Qualifying offers, Herbert Jones, somebody I do want to bring back, and I honestly don't think I'm going to re-sign CJ. I just don't. At this point, I feel like we have our roster, and getting CJ McCollum just makes things awkward. So I'm going to just focus on getting Herbert Jones back and rolling it back with what we got. I think if CJ is gone, things will be a lot better, and that's weird to say, but in 2K, it just didn't work out. So I'm going to grab Herbert Jones back because I like him a lot. And then this is your rotation again. So it's Jose Alvarado, Fox. You have Elijah Fisher and I guess with CJ McCollum gone, we kind of have our new starting shooting guard. Didn't even think about that. unless we want to start Herbert Jones again. But I mean, if they want to start Elijah Fisher, then so be it. So I'll do that, or Dyson Daniels, whichever one they want to do. And then, yeah, so I guess we kind of have our full rotation. So we're going to run it back for a third year. Last and final chance. Went from the finals to the play-in tournament to getting eliminated in round 1. So let's see what's in store for us for year number 3. So hopefully we can get back to that overpowered New Orleans Pelicans way here in 2K. De'Aaron Fox makes All-NBA third team for us this year, and with CJ McCollum gone, like I said, we are back kind of on top. So I think it was just an awkward fit, and 2K's algorithm didn't like it. So with him gone, we got the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, and the defense probably didn't help either. So you have 25 from De'Aaron Fox, 23 from Zion, 21 from Brandon Ingram, 10 from Derek Lively, 10 from Trey Murphy, 10, and then you had 9 from Dyson Daniels, who started for us this year, 8 from Herbert Jones, and 6 from Alvarado. Elijah Fisher did not play for us, which is surprising, but Dyson Daniels was the starter. So we get Utah in round 1, and they just won a championship. So, I mean, if we get upset by Utah, then, okay, I was about to say, if we lose to Utah, then sure, I guess. It is what it is. But now we get the Mavericks, who have LeVert, Bogdan, Williams, Christian Wood, Dorian Finney-Smith, THT. So game 1, we do beat them by 1. Good start. Game 2, we're up 2-0. Are we going to just coast the Western Conference Finals now? Wow, that's kind of crazy. So as soon as CJ is gone, we're just ready to coast to the conference finals. But now we get the Thunder. We have Josh Giddey, Wembanyama. They still have Chet Holmgren, who hasn't developed very much in this file at all. He's still an 82, which is kind of weird to me. But game 1, we're down 1-0. Okay, not a good start. Game 2, we even it up, though. Game 3, we're down 2-1. Let's not go down 3-1. Okay, can we win game 5? Yes, we can. Can we beat them in 6? Yes, we can. We're in the NBA Finals. Back in the finals, this time playing the Celtics, who have pretty much the same roster, it looks like. So they have Royce O'Neal as well. Jayshawn Tate I saw, but game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. And can we win game 4? No, game 5 has to go to us. Okay, game 6 does go to us. And just like that, we have won a championship here with the New Orleans Pelicans, which is one of the easier things to do in 2K. But it took me 3 seasons to do so. But hey, I will take it rather than not winning one at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely drop it a like if you did. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.